Sami Nader. He's the director of the Levant Institute for Strategic Affairs, and he's joining us from Beirut. Sami Nader, always good to have you with us, and had a little history lesson there as to what's going on. Now,
good afternoon.
What will be happening at this meeting in Paris between Mikati and Macron? Can Mikati convince Macron that promises made will be promises kept?
There are at least three important issues that the Mikati and Macron will have to discuss. First, the economic recovery assistance by the international community. Secondly, there is this Iranian oil getting into Lebanon, which is a blow to the Lebanese sovereignty and involves the international community. And thirdly, the Israel drilling gas in a disputed area between Lebanon and Israel. So these are three important files that are present at the table between Mr. Macron and Mr. Mikati. Now, the most important thing is how to get Lebanon out of this economic and financial crisis, and whether France can lead this effort. In fact, all this international aid is conditional with reform. And there is only one way to get Lebanon out of this crisis is to sign a deal with the IMF, because of the amount of money that is required, because of the know-how that is required. And all the international community, in fact, has agreed that the IMF role is of essence, is unavoidable. And this is where observers have doubts whether this government in particular can achieve the reform, because this government didn't change anything, or nothing has changed between this government and the president government. In that sense, the same political forces that are represented, the same balance of power, only the faces have changed. So the question is, will this government be able to achieve the structural reforms the two presidents today are discussing? I mean, personally, I have big doubts about it, because for the simple fact that internal divisions are the same. The only way to have these reforms achieved would have been to form an independent government that can carry this reform, that can put Lebanon at distance from the regional conflict. This government is so much politicized, and most importantly, this government still lacking the international support of key players, because the government of Mr. Mikati is the result of a compromise between two regional powers only, between France and Iran. And this is not enough to gather the international support needed to get the money, to get the backup of the international community for this small country to get out of the crisis. That said, this government can do a minimum. What is this minimum? There is an amount of money that accounts for 1.6 billion. This is not enough by all means to get Lebanon out of the crisis, but it can help the Lebanese people to cater for their very basic needs for the 6 months to come ahead of the parliamentary election.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, this government has one mission, is to to manage the upcoming elections that are due in 8 months' time.
Okay, Sami Nader from the Levant Institute for Strategic Affairs. Always appreciate your analysis, sir. Thank you so much.